Okay, in this tutorial we are going to be making a traditional firecracker, Mexican firecracker called a Polumna. Now for this you are going to need a small piece of tape. Any tape will do. This is just electrical tape and there's about 2 inches there. And you're going to need a ruler. You're going to need some fuse. I'm using Visco 1.8mm fuse, and that is 2.5 inches long. You're going to need a scoop, you're going to need a piece of paper, and you're going to need your composition. I'm using a 50-50 mix by weight of potassium chlorate and 600 mesh magnesium. Now, word of warning, potassium chlorate is a lot less stable than potassium perchlorate. The chlorate is a lot more shock sensitive and friction sensitive than the aforementioned perchlorate. Okay, you want to get your sheet of A4 paper. I'm using the same stuff as what I use to make my tubes and disposable mortars, and we're going to need a strip that's around 1.5 inches wide. So mark your 1.5 inches, bottom and top, score down and cut, so you'll be left with, if I can get it, a strip of paper like so. So we've got a strip of paper that's 1.5 inches wide by the full length of an A4 sheet of paper. Okay, now you've got to fold. Now in order to start folding, what you do is you pick up the bottom right corner and you bring it over to the left side of the sheet, of the strip, like so, and you make sure the edges are all lined up nice and square, and you just flatten it out like so. Now you bring the left bottom corner, or the point, and you bring the whole thing up until the point reaches the left edge like so. Now you are left with a nice square edge like that instead of the points. All we just done is done that. Now you bring the bottom left corner over to the right edge of the strip of card or paper, and just fold it down like so, just like so, and just squeeze and you will form a cup like so. Okay, now what you want to do, what you want to put in your cup is your composition. Like I say, I'm using a potassium chlorate based flash powder, and I'll probably put around about 4 grams in this one. Okay, last little bit, and there we go. As you can see, got about 4 grams in there. This is quite a good size one. It'll be very, very loud. So just tap it down. But remember, don't be too violent with it. And as you can see, there's a nice. It's not right up to the top. Okay. Now get your Visco fuse or whatever fuse you're doing. Remember, when you use your fuse, make sure you cut it long enough so you can light it and then lob it. Okay. Now stick your fuse in whatever corner you wish. I'm putting it in that corner. You can put it in that corner. if you wish. Now squeeze it, put your fuse like that, squeeze it, and then what you want to do is just bring the flap, this flap here that I'm wiggling, just bring it down. Okay, and then turn the whole thing over, just like so. And then you do the same process again, like we did before, just right corner over to the left edge. And then you've got your little flap, bring your flap down, turn the whole thing over, left corner to the right edge, flap down, and you're left with a little bit like that. Put that like that. Now get your piece of tape, any tape will do, and just put it over like so. And that is your Polumna Firecracker.